Hi everyone, Kelt here, bringing you part 11 of my new series regarding questions about the Harkles and the children. Well, by now I think most of us know that the photos were not photos, but stills of a video that was taken on July the 4th by a friend of Harry and Meghan's who owns a hotel in Montecito. I didn't get a chance to make a video about it a couple of days ago, but I'm just bringing everyone up to speed now in this video. This is obviously the reason why the photos were blurred. It's difficult to get a still on the move from a video when you're driving past in a vehicle. It's going to be very difficult to get a still that's not blurred, I think. And if it was a phone that was used, then all the more likely. But then again, I also believe that this vehicle would not have been going that fast, so they could have got a decent picture. So I'm not sure on that one. Maybe the person taking it was not very good and moving as well, so it wasn't very professional. But having said that, this was obviously prearranged, and the person playing the part of Meghan and the person playing part of Harry and whoever the children are were intentionally put there and intentionally filmed, and it was intentionally bad quality. That I do believe. So there are lots of rumours going around about these supposed children, and one of them is that they're supposed to be with Meghan and not with Harry at the moment. Apparently their PRs are pushing things in opposite directions. Bear in mind that I've always said that this is all one big pantomime. So Harry's PR are pushing that they want to get back to the UK, and Harry and Meghan both want to come back, believe it or not, to try again. To try what? I don't know. Meghan's PR desperately want to keep the dying Sussex brand going and are saying that Meghan and said children are staying at a San Isidro ranch owned by King Charles, while Harry is apparently here, there and everywhere. Well, it's true that King Charles owns a property in the States. I think he owns several. And the Queen actually owned a ranch where she bred horses, or had horses bred for her, for racing. And I know it's definitely true about King Charles owning a ranch there. I've heard about this before, some years back, so I knew that he owned property there. They also, Harry and Meghan, never owned the Montecito house. We know that as well, and it was always rented, and a lot more fake than we realise. It was more of a film set than a home. Well, this news is 4 days old, but Harry is apparently really angry at the US press for not blurring out Lily's face in the photos, whereas the UK papers did, in fact, blur Lily's face. Well, it's no surprise that this is yet another thing he wants to pursue legally. The article from Newsweek 90 says, and I quote, "Prince Harry's issues with the British tabloid media have extended to the US, as photographs of his 2-year-old daughter, Princess Lilibet, were published this month without having her face blurred for privacy. This was despite a request for the news organisation to do so." End quote. I just want to chip in here now and say what probably many of you are feeling. I really hate it when I hear her name being said as Lilibet, because the Queen's main wish was that that name would never be used again after Prince Philip died, because it started off as her childhood nickname. Then it became the affectionate nickname that Prince Philip gave her, and it was not to be used again. So for them to steal that name and for her to, it was just really sickening. So back to the subject in hand. So it referred to the family watching the July 4th parade in Montecito and how they were watching the event in a private capacity from the sidewalk of a public road. It then says that within hours of the parade, photos of Lily in Harry's arms were published in the New York Post and Page 6, which are part of the Rupert Murdoch and News Corporation. But it says that in the UK, the photos were also published by the Mail Online, but the massive difference was that the UK story has blurred Lily's face, whereas the New York Post on Page 6 coverage left the picture unedited. So what's the point in publishing photos if you have to pixel people's faces out and blur them? If it had been done to Harry's face, there would be no purpose because we wouldn't even know who they were supposed to be and what the point is of it all. So it's interesting that this news with 90 says that though it's not clear whether the photos of the princess and her family were taken by a paparazzi photographer or a member of the public, the images were sold to the tabloids through the Backgrid photo agency. We know who is behind all this. Maybe now Harry will appreciate the differences and realise that it's not quite so bad in the UK, because if you're in a public place in the UK, there is still a right to privacy if you're going about your private life. And there was a law introduced in 1998 as the Human Rights Act that if you were going about your private life, even if you were in a public place, you still have a right to privacy. At the moment, in America, that law does not exist. So the pictures of Meghan with Lily were blurred anyway due to being stills from a video taken on a phone from a moving vehicle. And I also believe that it's all done intentionally, as most of you do as well. So what's Harry to do? He can't apply British laws in the US, but he's still suing the Murdoch's news group newspapers over the phone hacking from back in the 1990s. He really is like a dog with a bone. The fact that Murdoch US outlets and Backgrid are both being linked to the publication of the photographs of Lily will be another piece of ammunition for Harry to hold the media to account for invading his and his family's privacy. So again, all set up, all done on purpose, all for that reason. We also discovered that it was the software that made Meghan appear to be quite a scary and goofy-faced man. Unblurring a photo is nigh on impossible, and to do it, and to the extent that one would have to do it with these photos, the software puts in what it thinks a face should be, so it doesn't really serve any true purpose. And I still don't believe it was them. I believe it was actors. I've also said that they've been apart for years and only get together occasionally for the odd photo or video interview type thing, and that's why they're so awkward when they do these things, because they're acting. Let's not forget things that others have seen also. For instance, Oprah being told by members of her team, by her camera crew, that they saw Meghan's moon bump during the interview, which is why she never did another interview follow-up afterwards. And also Tyler Perry turned heel and left immediately after seeing something when he was supposed to be attending Lily's christening. We never knew exactly what he saw. I did joke that he probably saw a doll named Lily sat on the chair, but we don't know what he actually saw. But he saw something, and he was not going to compromise himself, apparently. It might be time for him to tell us what he saw. Everybody else seems to be coming out with the truth. I believe that the reason why lately there has been so much conflicting news about them is for several reasons. I think one is just to keep the confusion going, so we don't look at other stuff that's going on in the news. And also, we have Harry's PR trying to ease him out of the marriage and keep his image, so-called image, intact by getting him back to Africa. And Meghan's desperately trying to keep them together as an item. That's why I think it becomes so confusing at times. I want to thank all of you who sent me video clips and photos of the old subject of the Birkenhead visit, where Meghan's bump fell down past her knees. I will get a video together. I know it's very old news, but it's good to be reminded of this stuff. It's still very relevant now because it's all coming out. And apologies for not managing to reply personally to every one of you because I've had so many emails. However, I will try and get around to that. I really appreciate your help. I have all the material I need regarding that, so thank you. And I'm also looking through my old videos now and working out which ones I might resurrect and add to. So, keep your comments coming. I do enjoy reading them, even though I don't always have the time to go through them all and reply to them all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.